Welcome, welcome, and welcome back for another video on pariah juice. Today, I am very excited about this one. This one is a more personal video in the sense that we're going deep into the mechanics of building our own realities. Last video, I talked a little bit about digital adaptation. And that was fun. But I want to take it back a couple steps, and I want to talk about building our mind, body, soul connection. So this video is entitled 777 Prayers, Rituals, and Routines for a Creative Life. And I came up with this concept, I want to say, it came to me about 2 weeks ago. I was playing cards with my family, and I pulled 777 twice. Now, if you know anything about blazing sevens or anything about casinos, 777 is jackpot. So I sat there with that because everybody was stunned with me. Girl, how did you pull 777s twice? Shuffled the deck and everything. So I sat there, I'm like, okay, I'm not in a casino. I'm in real life. I'm with my family. What does 777 actually mean? If it's the number of extreme prosperity and balance, and it's a sign of good fortune, how can I understand what this number means in my personal life without attributing to gambling, cards, etc.? So I sat with it for a minute. And I went over, in my last video, I talked a little bit about world building. And so I'm constantly retracing my steps, and I'm building a personal ethics for the world that I want to create for myself. What are the ethics that I will abide by? What are the ethics and the values that I will shape my reality around? How will I execute this? How will this be functional for me? And so 777 popped back in my head, and I was like, okay. We are three-dimensional beings at the foundation, right? We live in a 3D material world. We hear these concepts of angel numbers, right? 777, but I took it more so as dimensions. We have think of a y-axis, an x-axis, and a z-axis. You know what I mean? So we're building something three-dimensional with the three structures, with the three numbers, with 777. So I thought about rituals that I partake in. I thought about my routines, and I thought about my prayers, and I'm like, you know what? 7 of these, of each, 7 prayers, 7 rituals, 7 routines. This is the foundation that I'm building for myself. This is the building block. This is what's going to help me be the creator that I want to be. So let's jump right in it, because I'm super excited about this one. I have my iPad. I usually take notes in my journal or on my iPad, depending on how I'm feeling. So today is going to be iPad. A lot of times we read, oh, by the way, I have red light therapy going on. I have a red light on. So it's set for 10 minutes, so it's a little bit extra red in here today. When it turns off, just know that was the red light, and I'm done with my session. But yeah, I want to see, I hear a lot of people share the ways that they prioritize a creative life. And I take a lot of inspiration from people who live very deeply and live intimate, creative lives. And they share nuggets here and there, but there's only so much you can take before you have to implement in your own life and build something from your own perspective and from your own experience. So I'm sharing with you 7 prayers, 7 rituals, and 7 routines that I do on a daily basis as a blueprint, a fluid blueprint. I'm not saying that this is it, this is the answer. No, this is what works for me, this is what's working for me, and I want to share it in hopes that people will be able to adopt certain aspects, such as the 777, such as the prayers, rituals, and routines in their daily life, and then, mold it to fit their individual experience. So, how did I come up with prayers, rituals, and routines? I think about the mind, body, and soul. I'm a big philosophy nerd. I love Western philosophy. I love all philosophy, but specifically I'm fascinated with Western philosophy post-Enlightenment. It was a huge leap philosophically in a lot of ways. One of the things that I've noticed about the Western canon and Western philosophy for the most part is this disembodied aspect, this abstraction, this mental fortitude, this mental superiority over other aspects of ourselves. So even if you look around modern society, contemporary modern society, we'll see that the emphasis, see, it just turned off. We'll see that the emphasis is on our mind over matter. I think, therefore I am. And seldom are we taught, are we cultured in a way that produces balance within our spirits, within our souls, and within our bodies. I can go on. My personal opinion is that we are in a very advanced stage of sickness, spiritually and philosophically, in our society. And while there's so many amazing aspects, I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I want to make sure that moving forward, the information that I take, the experiences that I live, it's built with harmony and balance in mind. And that's connecting and reconnecting mind, body, and soul. And so 777 touches all these aspects, the trinity, right? The ultimate trinity, which is mind, body, soul. 7 prayers, which are petitions, I call them. Prayers are petitions. They're declarations to the universe. And they're declarations and petitions from our soul. Then we have rituals. Rituals is the movement, is the action of embodiment, of deep transformation that we go through. And then we have the routine. Routine is for our mental fortitude. Routine is for our mind and our brain, and it's pattern recognition and creating stability within our daily lives so that we can continue to build higher and higher and higher. Cool. All right, let's get into some things. A little background. One of my favorite anthropologists, ethnologists, is Mircea Eliade. And he studied extensively religion, specifically original religion, such as shamanism. He wrote extensively about Siberian shamanism, Amazonian shamanism, I believe. But he has a book entitled The Sacred and the Profane, and I'll put a link down below. You can get it off Amazon or Thrift Books or anywhere. Actually, I have 2 copies, so holla at me, I'll send you one. But The Sacred and the Profane was an amazing read because it really broke down ritualization and rituals and the importance of rituals, both on an individual level and a collective level. And this is something that we miss in today's society. We grow up kind of without rites of passage in a sense. We're very sheltered in this society. We're very comfortable. We follow the rules. Everything is laid out in front of us without much transformation happening or the ability for deep transformation. And so I was interested in this ritual, this turning something profane into something sacred, the magic in the mundane, right? That's what I was interested in. And so After reading him a couple years ago, I started to really understand rituals. I started to ask my elders about rituals. I started to go back into my genealogy, into my cultures, the rituals that we did. I started talking in communities with community members about some of the rituals that their elders passed on to them. And since then, I've created rituals for myself, and my goal is to create rituals for my children, to give them that embodied life experience. Last video in digital adaptation, I talked about how media and platforms mediate our life for us. So they live our life for us. They take us out of our bodies, capture our minds, and have us believe that we're living fully when we're really not, you know? You can really only live in real life. You can't live digitally, even though if you ask extropians or whatever, they'll say otherwise. But my personal opinion is that the digital space is amazing. But first, you have to create the foundation in real world. And this is where ritual comes in. So, rituals are very, 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 very important. And I'm going to read a little excerpt on what I wrote when I started thinking about rituals and creating rituals for ourselves. Rituals are personalized actions, personalized, individual. They can be personalized, individual, and collective, honestly. But right now, in the society that we live in the way that I live my life, they're personal acts that take me to that place. Now, if you've never been to that place, it'll be hard to understand at first, but I'm pretty sure we've all kind of like brushed with mystery before, the great mystery. Like, we felt this inundated, deep feeling of just deep connection, right? Of flow, of bliss, we felt this before. And that's part of what ritual does. It transforms the monotony of our day-to-day life, of fixing beds, of grocery shopping, of cooking, of going to work, of dropping kids off at school. And it takes it and it makes it into something so sacred that you almost feel like you're living in another world. Everything seems a bit more golden. Everything, the breeze is hitting just right. The sun appears out of nowhere after like 3 weeks of just cloudiness. Things come to you, surprises happen, friendly faces. There's a lot that ritual does. Rituals were the technology to help us cross the threshold, the many thresholds of life. It was the process of transformation. And so, like, thresholds that we have in modern society, like graduating high school, getting married, having a baby, but there's no sense of deep transformation. A lot of people are thrust into these new positions, into these new life experiences without the proper ritual, without the proper initiation, and things become muddied. Things become complicated, disjointed, confusing. When we create rituals for ourselves, we are creating our personal mythologies, our personal myth, our world, our process of world building. Every world is built upon a myth. Every world is built upon a myth. You know, it's very interesting as a writer that reading so extensively so many forms of literature, both contemporary, ancient, both fiction, nonfiction, spiritual, informative, biology, rocks, they are all tied to a story, wherever that story happens, but it's still storytelling at its finest. And so our individual rituals are the backbone of our personal myth. It's a personal reorientation. We have to reorientate ourselves. Is that a word? Reorientate? Reorient? You catch my drift. To a world outside of modernity. So this is like the fun part, you know, like we can have this world that's chaotic and crumbling, quite literally right in front of our eyes. And yet we can have the capacity to build our own personal worlds that operate parallel and simultaneously to this big collective modern world. And we can function in it. We can get things done. We can feel alive. We can feel connected. Okay? And then the last 7 is 7 routines. You know, you can have 8, 9, 10, 11 routines. You know, I 7 is a great number. I'm a life path 7. I like 7. 7's a good number, right? So I just chose 7, but as many as you feel that you need to create the life that you want to live. So why routines? Why are we talking about routines? We have prayers, we have rituals, and now we have routines. Routines are our own personal infrastructures. The more solid the foundation, the higher that we can build. Routines are a necessary and natural part of life, and they differ significantly from rituals. In this sense, because I'm talking about mind, body, soul connection and like bringing these 3 aspects of ourselves into one, I attribute routines to the mind. The routines that we partake in every day are the habits that we use to build discipline. And discipline is our saving grace throughout moments of instability. The world can fall apart. The world can fall apart over and over and over again, as we've seen, as the historical record has shown how many times we've dropped the ball. The world can continue to fall apart, and yet we can simultaneously continue to build. And that's what routines help us do. Platforms can shut down, the Strait of Hormuz can close, supply chain can be disrupted beyond our comprehension. And yet, if we create and maintain our own set of routines, we still have a personal operating manual to abide by. Look, if you want to build your life and you want to build a life of sovereignty in which you can be the creative that you want to be, you have to create a world that continues to go, that regenerates when other worlds and other planets are dying, okay? The mind is our processing machine. I am not a neuroscientist. I dabble in a couple journal articles here, and I indulge in the complexity and absolute genius that is our brains and our mind. But there's so much that I don't know, but I do know that the mind is our processing machine, and it loves patterns, and it's pretty damn good at detecting them. Pattern recognition, we all have it. We all have it. There's this little thing in our brain called the reticular activating system. Read about that, you know. I feel like that's like the common introduction into neuroscience because it's so fascinating. But patterns they're all around us, right? And our brain detects them and is very good at that. So what if we created our own patterns so that our brain knows what to expect? And so these patterns pour back into us and help us to grow instead of patterns of destruction, patterns of disease, patterns of disharmony, patterns of degradation. Okay. Cool. I don't need to read the rest. Those are more personal notes. So let's jump right into it. 7 prayers. 777. 7 prayers. My soul petitions. The first prayer, and these are things that I do every day. Okay, this is the goal with the 777. When you create a life, when you are a creator, you do this every day because it is a way of living. Okay, it's not a trend, it's not a fad. it's a way of living. It's a commitment. It's a deep commitment to ultimate transformation, right? And so I speak from experience of implementing these, and I know what it's like to try to do something that other people are doing and it doesn't work for you. So again, I'm going to highlight this. Do not do these things just because I'm doing these things that I say they work. They do work. They work for me. They might work for you. But remember, like, you are responsible. You have to take inventory of your own life. You have to take inventory of your soul. You got to weigh it. See where it's at with the light, with the feather. See where it's at. You got to take inventory of your mind. How much garbage are you putting in? How much garbage is coming out? How much clean fuel are you putting in? How are you operating? You have to take inventory of your body. You know, the body's magnificent. It doesn't lie. We all know now that the body doesn't lie. There's a book, The Body Keeps Score, which talks about trauma. The body will always let us know, hey, something's a little funky. You need an oil change. Stop eating Starbucks. Your skin, you got a mysterious rash. Like eczema and psoriasis is at a all-time high. You know what I mean? So our bodies tell us. They literally tell us. There's no guessing. There's no guessing. And that's the great part about this. When you're so in tune, there's no guessing. Everything becomes direction. Okay, so like back to prayers. So the first prayer is a prayer of gratitude. I do this every morning in that special hour before I have to wake up my children and get ready for the day. There's that little moment where the street is a bit quiet. The sun hasn't risen yet. The birds might be murmuring a little bit, not full on. Chirp, 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 chirp. And it's peaceful, it's quiet, and this is where I do my prayers. Also the shower. If I wake up late, the shower is a great place. So I have 7 prayers. A prayer of gratitude, a prayer of steadfastness, a prayer of protection, a prayer of clarity, prayer to magic, the magic in the mundane, a prayer to time, and a prayer for courage and a heart full of love. Courage and love, I always feel like I can't separate those, because to overcome fear, you need love, right? And so the overcoming of fear is courage. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Gratitude will do something amazing for the soul. In this society of hyperconsumption and consumerism and product output, it can be you can easily lose sight of gratitude, of gratefulness, of the things around you, the materials around you, that, like a bed, you know, like our phones to be able to talk to the world, like our hardwood floor, our glass that holds our water. All of these things, they're tools to help us, you know what I mean? For our families, for our loved ones, for our ability to breathe, to start fresh again, to even have the thought, to even have the inkling, to have the feeling to say, hey, I want to create my own life. I want to be a creator of my own life. I thank God, the Most High, the great mystery, for the ability to even feel that, to think that, to want that. So gratitude will take you, it will give you perspective, and perspective is amazing. Perspective, when you're tapped into your own perspective, you in your own lane. There, you don't need to be anybody else except you. You don't need to live another life except yours. Do you know how powerful that is? Steadfastness, a prayer to steadfastness. Life's tiring. I get tired. I have 2 kids. Like, we go to work. We have family drama. We have the world ready to blow up in a second. We have all these stressors, these traumas that are happening all around us. And it can feel so just like there's relief in giving up. There's relief in just saying, you know what? Screw it. We're not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. I have resigned. I will lay down and I'm done. Steadfastness. When I pray to God, to the great mystery, to the universe for steadfastness, that's that ability within myself, to find within myself that ability called hope, to keep going, to sit down and create a YouTube video or a video and post it on YouTube, even if I don't feel like it, or even if I feel nervous, or even if I feel completely deranged for thinking like, who am I? The steadfastness helps direct me and reorient myself. There's the word again. Somebody please tell me what the word is. Am I saying it right? Whatever. Reposition myself. Let's do synonyms now. For the day, it gives me direction. It's a compass to keep going. One of my favorite books is Auntie Harriet and the Underground Railroad, I believe, I think that's the title. By Faith Ringgold. It was a children's book, but I've read it so many times, and I just bought a copy now. And Harriet Tubman and this whole follow the drinking gourd and the North Star, that's ultimate steadfastness. That's ultimate steadfastness. There's so many instances where people in their quest for liberation could have just laid down and died. And you know, like, I don't blame people who do that, or if that happens to them, or, you know, people die on this journey, hence the gratitude. But the ones who kept going, who had the ability to keep going, who found the ultimate source within themselves to keep going, that's who I pray for. That's the energy I pray for in the morning. 3, my third prayer is a prayer of protection. Pretty self-explanatory. Protect myself from demonic forces, from psychic parasites, from the claws of the algorithm, from loss of hope, from marketing that is just real sneaky, from the ill hearts of others, from jealousy, from my own jealousy of others, from lust, from all of these things I ask protection from. And just because I ask, you know, and I'll go into this a little later, these are just petitions. These are petitions to start my day. And then I create the rituals and routines to back up and support those petitions. But protection. We're out here. We're living life. We're wanting to create new worlds. We're wanting to change the way that we do things for ourselves and the ones that we love around us. We need protection. You know, we become ripe. We become abundant, and we smell so fragrant. You don't think some little nasty ass flies ain't going to try to come over here and take the juice from you? Protection. 4, clarity. Clarity. I've been deep in clarity lately. Like, I've felt the clearest I've ever felt. And I continue to pray for clarity, for listening to my own voice, to even having the capacity to hear my own voice compared to other voices that aren't mine, to know what I'm on this earth to do, to go about my day and have this clear vision of how I want my day to go, how I want my day to build, how I want to nurture my children, how I want to nurture my family, how I want to nurture my vision and my goals. Clarity. I remember being so confused. I was confused for a while. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes it comes in and out. And this is why it's a prayer. And this is why we make these prayers our rituals. And we make these prayers our routines, because we go like this, like a sine wave, right? But the more that we create this infrastructure, the more that we create this for ourselves, We do less of this and more of this, right? So the moments of clarity are longer. And I appreciate that. It's what gives me the ability to be like, I hear those voices. They make me a little uncomfortable, but I know what I'm supposed to do because I hear my voice. I hear this voice that is specifically mine, emanating from my heart and my soul and my body, telling me what I need to do, what I need to be doing. Okay? The fifth prayer is prayer to magic. I love, 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 love this one. The prayer to magic is what it is. There's magic all around us, honey. Whether you believe in magic or don't, you don't need to believe because it's there. And when you position yourself to be a seer of magic, when you create a life that allows you to meet magic face to face, it'll change you. You will restructure your whole life so that magic never leaves you, you know? And magic always seems to show up when you go off script. When you go off the script that's given to you, that magic is waiting to bless your ass. Trust and believe. Magic is amazing. Magic is... Somebody paid for the coffee in front of me. Magic is... I got 50 compliments today. Magic is... I feel so good. This drink that I made, this food that I made absolutely nourished me. Magic today is an opportunity that I just thought of in my heart and my mind that I'm like, yo, if this opportunity came up, I wouldn't miss it. I would go for it 100%. Magic is bringing that opportunity to your feet because you simply thought of it and felt it and you asked for it. That's magic. Magic is the co-creator with us, among us. She's brilliant. She's beautiful. She's unpredictable. She's wild. She's bigger than what we think we can do. Magic is magical. Okay, my sixth prayer is a prayer to time. You know, as material beings, we're so intertwined with time, space, right? Like matter and time, they exist together. It's time, space. And so knowing that and knowing that eventually I will die and time continues, I want to be a great steward of my time. Creators, they don't just own their time, they're stewards of time. You don't need to own it. They're stewards of time. I'm a steward of my time. I pray for the ability to not waste my time, to use my time to cultivate my gifts, to use my time to enjoy my family, to sit in silence, to pamper myself. I use my time to help out in the community, to talk to others. I use my time. This thing that's eventually going to run out, I want to use it. We all have to use our time. So I want to use it in the best way possible. And the last prayer is a prayer to courage and love. I already spoke on this a little bit, that there's a lot of fears. I feel fear. You know, you wake up and you're like, oh, I feel this like edge, this anxiety that just I want that fear. So I pray for courage to push through. I pray for courage. You know, I'm building this world. I set my mind to it. You know, I'll feel good in a moment. So I'll be like, what are you doing? You look lame. This feels weird. That's my fear creeping in to keep me small, to keep me from passing the threshold, from transforming from one thing to another. And so I pray for courage and love, a heart that is open and acknowledges that fear with compassion and not shame, so that I can keep going and just let it fall off me. And you know what? Courage is amazing. And the prayer works because look, I'm here. 3 years ago, I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to be the star that I knew I was. I knew that I am. I know that I am. But a fear was paralyzing. The fear of, oh, it's too late. The fear of, oh, you have too much going on, too much responsibility. You missed it. You missed it. So just sit there and give up. No, I have prayed for courage every day since I made the decision to follow through with my plan A. So 7 prayers. Again, you could take some of mine, try them out, see how they feel. At the end of the day, make your own and report back. Report back. Give it a year. I'm not even going to say give it, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Give it a year. Okay, 7 rituals. This is a little fun. I like this one. So the first ritual that I do is a hobby. A thing that it's like I want it just for myself, just to learn, just to do, just to experience. Nothing else out of it. No, I'm going to make it into a career. No, I'm going to make money from it. None of that. Just pure, brilliant, intelligent life experience. A hobby. The thing that we love the most. A particular fascination. It might not fit into our lives quite right now. It might be like, that's kind of left field. That's interesting. But you would be devastated without it. That's the thing that I'm talking about. That's the thing that connects you to the living world. Contemporary modern society is dead. It's dead in so many ways. We all feel it. Bureaucracy is dead. We see little zombies walking around. There's nothing regenerative anymore about a lot of aspects of our society. And so that's the dead simulation. That's the dead simulacra. That's the dead aspect of our culture. I want to be alive. So I'm going to do things that take me from the profane and send me to the sacred, the living, the regenerative, the abundant, the that which cannot be named, but that feeling that right? Number 2, nature. Nature is the master teacher. I have hella respect for nature. I have a healthy respect for nature. Okay. Humans fall short. We all fall short. I fall short. When we start to oh my gosh, what's wrong with my language today? Idolize, idolatry, idolize human beings, we will be let down. Nature is pure. It's pure. I mean, if you think about like pure mathematics and how pure mathematics has an ability to capture nature at its finest, you'll understand that nature is pure. Nature is nature. Nature is ultimate. It's superior, and as extensions of nature, as human beings, of organic material, communing with her is a ritual that I partake in all of the time. I used to every day. I want to get back to that. And so this is why it's a ritual, because it transforms my life. It transforms me. When I have these deep questions that I feel like nobody can answer, somehow when I'm out in the woods, somehow when I'm out in the ocean, somehow when I feel the breeze take my whole body, the answers come. The answers are there. The guidance is given. It's nature is the ultimate elder, right? The third ritual, communing with beauty, whether that's pampering yourself, gazing upon beautiful art, beauty. what did I, okay. So like, people think like beauty is subjective. It's both. It's objective and subjective, right? But it's a thing. It's real, you know. There's philosophies and fields of study dedicated to it called aesthetics. The Japanese, the Japanese, shout out to my Japanese. The Japanese knew about beauty so intimately that they created their whole culture around its existence. So, in a world that pushes ugliness and death and decay and disease, beauty is something that we have to continue to commune with. It's our own personal ritual. And I invest a lot into my personal beauty. I getting red lights, saunas and steam rooms, facials, nice fabrics, real metals. I invest into beauty because I know what beauty does. Beauty raises our frequency. Beauty is healing. I mean, it's been proven how many times beauty and beautiful images can help heal. Beautiful environments can help heal. So, this is something that I commune with as much as possible because it ultimately is transforming me to be somebody who attracts more beauty, who is exuding ultimate beauty. Okay. Beauty wants to be shared. Hence why I'm here. Beauty wants to be shared. Number 4, silence. I feel like we all get it. Society's loud. Our channels, our sensory channels, our sight, our touch, our smell, our taste, our hearing, we're inflamed. Our sensory channels are inflamed. Okay? The best way to combat inflammation is to take away the thing causing inflammation. And this is silence. Silence is scary. Silence is a bit nerve-wracking. Like ultimate silence, like you're like, oh, I can hear my heart. I don't need my Apple Watch to tell me how fast my heart is beating. I can hear it. Silence is amazing. Silence is the ultimate reset. Which it's interesting because like I'm currently going through a detox with foods. And it's amazing how clear everything is clearing up. My body's coming back into homeostasis after giving birth. I feel good. My skin is shining. My hair is thick. My eyes are bright. My body looks great because I eliminated the things that were hurting it. I was giving my body a chance to regenerate. Silence does the same thing. It gives our bodies, it gives our souls, it gives our minds a chance to regenerate. When you're met with so much confusion, if you feel confused, if you feel just information and data has buried you 6 feet under the ground, silence is the quickest way to reset yourself. Silence will put you on God's path. I guarantee it. Silence will have you rethinking your life. Silence will give you the ability to restructure your life. Silence will allow your imagination to come back, to think bigger. Silence is amazing. Number 6. No. Jeez, I gotta speed up. Number 5, communion with eldership. This is a given. Initiation rituals, they're always overlooked by somebody who's been through it before. You don't have to do this life alone. I've tried. It's not fun. You know? It will land you in a loony bin if you think that you have to do this life alone and if you attempt to. Well, you don't have to. You know, there's a lot of elders out here. I was blessed to have 2 grandmothers who were amazing elders of mine. the future talking to present. That's what I think eldership and communion with eldership is. Like, we don't need to guess about the obstacles ahead. We could be prepared for them. We can be prepared for our initiation rites. We can be prepared for our rituals by seeking guidance. So this is something that I've implemented in my life because I don't want to do it alone. I don't have to do it alone. And, you know, there's people ahead of me who have done it, and they have tips and tricks to help me upon my way. You know, again, I go back to the Underground Railroad, Faith Ringgold's book. It was all a path, a journey towards liberation, but there's people along the Underground Railroad who helped. They were helpers, the Quakers, people who helped hide slaves, who, oh, enter this house if it only if it has the star-shaped quilt in the window. Well, my star-shaped quilt is the elders telling me, hey, you don't need to, if you do this, this will be a lesson, this will be an obstacle less frightening for you. You will be prepared. We can help you along the way. Eldership. Now, don't go seeking out any old head now, okay? Don't be doing that. Use some discernment, but make it a routine, a ritual. Okay, number 6, I believe, is music. Self-explanatory. Go music. Music will take you to that place. Music will let the hairs on the tip of your toes stand up. Music has the ability to help you time travel. Music has the ability to help you circumnavigate bullshit. If you really pay attention to what type of music you listen to, when you listen to it, your mood, depending on what you choose, and so forth, music will tell you everything about yourself, everything about your subconscious that you need to know. And then you work with it from there. But when you commune with music, don't just put shit on. I mean, you can. I do sometimes. But make it so sometimes you're intentional about what you're playing for yourself. You're intentional. Where am I getting this? You're intentional with what you're listening to and how it affects your body, okay? This is all about mind, body, soul connection. Music, the angel of music. Music is as old as the earth, in a way, you know? Om. Sound. Don't sleep on music, and use it as a tool. Use it as a tool to help deal and feel and process and let go of certain emotions. I know, like, for instance, when I'm stretching, I listen to jazz, specifically Alice Coltrane. Why? Because the improvisation of jazz music helps my body to move freely. Whereas a lot of music, or a lot of, you know, the times when I am on autopilot, I'm very rigid and stiff. Stretching to jazz music, oh no, girl, I could do a split. Music is powerful. When I write, I put certain music on. When I drive out into nature, I put certain music on to prepare me, to prepare my nervous system, to prepare my mind for what I'm going to partake in. Like if I know I have to deal with some BS, I'm gonna thug it out with some drill music. For real. That type of energy, that warrior energy. If I know that I want to commune with nature, and nature to me is like going out as a psychedelic experience, I'm gonna listen to Tame Impala. You know, I'm gonna listen to Current's album. And I love how it makes my children feel. Music is a ritual. So be more aware of the music. And the last one is movement. Movement. Make movement a ritual. Whether you stretch before bed, you know, go for a walk, take dance lessons, swim a lap, do a cartwheel, do a headstand, dance to music, lock your door in your room and dance. Dance, music, movement. will help your body to stay alive, to keep up with you, right? To keep up with your mind, to keep this connection flowing, to keep it strong. Okay, and then the last 7, we have 7 routines. These I'm probably not going to go deep in because they're just routines. They're just things that I do. I don't really need to explain them. We all have routines. We know what they're about. Organization, daily, weekly organization. We have seasonal organization. Clear out your house. Clear out your house. Clear out your drawers. I used to be a firm believer in a junk drawer. You know, because there's only so much I can clean out before I have to just stuff some stuff in my subconscious. But, you know, when I've tackled the junk drawer, when my husband has tackled the junk drawer, wow. Wow. It's like a weight has been lifted off my subconscious. Everything has a home. And when you're aware of everything that you own, you tend to buy less. Number 2, healthy eating. You have to support your body. You have to support your body. Our bodies are intelligent machines. Don't eat junk. I went through probably about 6 years fighting sugar addiction. It was bad. It was bad. Liquid sugar, man. That's like worse than heroin at this point. But now that I eat healthy and I'm clean, I'm building the capacity for my body to hold the vision that I have for my life, to be the creator that I want to be, to push my limits, to keep going, to enjoy life. Like, I don't just eat healthy to just be like this disciplined, hard person. I play hard. I like to play. And that's another thing. That's number 4 is play. Number 3 is play. Play as a routine. We have to schedule play in. I play with my children. I play by myself. I play with my lover. I play. Play. It gives my mind a reprieve. Again, I said that the mind is built off of pattern recognition. So the more that we build these routines into our life, the more our mind will look forward to it. So if we're building healthy routines, we're building routines that help us grow, that help our brain plasticity. Like, the outcome is going to be beautiful. Play in general. There's a time to be serious, and there's a time to be like a child and play, to let loose. And when you let loose, when you constantly let loose, when you do some hard work and then you play, it just pours right back into you. You become excited about life again. You are like, wait, I want more of this. I can have more of this. I don't have to live doom and gloom. I can actually have joy and happiness. Number 4 is movement. Same with the ritual. There's points where it's like, okay, I'm deeply stretching. That's the ritual, because I want to move something out of me. I want to really process something. And then there's just like, oh, I know that I need to move my body every day. So if I go for a walk or I do a little elliptical or whatever, the movement is necessary regardless. Now, I used to go hard. I used to be that gym bunny girl. And I used to go hard, and I just feel like, going hard. Hold on. I have to put that up. Isn't this a lovely piece? Made in the 1930s. Yeah. I found that when I go hard, I've hurt myself. I don't need to. Just a little movement every day. Number 5, studying. You know, I always study. I keep on top of my studies. The world is ever changing. There's so much I want to know. I'm building my own world. I'm synthesizing my own ideas. I'm synthesizing my own body of work. And so studying is an integral part of that. And it's non-negotiable. And it's something that I partake in every day, even if it's just 15 minutes of reading something, 15 minutes of listening to something, 15 minutes of exploring in my own life, going out and exploring and testing my ideas, testing a hypothesis within myself. I make sure that I study. Number 6, family time, social time, or social creatures. Real life social creatures. Okay, so when I say family time, social time, outside of the algorithm, outside of the digital platform, these are good for you. Because you realize, hey, I don't want to do this just for myself. I want to do this for the world. I want to do this for other people. And when you start seeing results, you're like, oh, shoot, like this stuff actually works. I can share this with my loved ones. And the last one, work. Work, work, work. Work is routine, y'all. A lot of people are afraid of work now because people have confused work with job. It's a little hot in here, actually. Let me create some ambiance. Let's create some breeze. Make a little microclimate in here. Work. 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 I used to be afraid of work. My parents are hard workers. They get compensated for it well, but I always thought work was a job. And then I became a mom. And I was like, oh, work actually is just work. Our lives are about work. We always are working. Our bodies are working. To breathe, that's work. So it's like work is part of who we are as a species. So like, why, if work is there and there's a choice for me to do work that I hate and work that makes me feel miserable versus work that I love and work that pours into me, I'm going to choose the latter. And this has helped me to refine and redefine work for myself. So much so that it's like, oh, wow, I found a job that requires work that I like. And who would have known that I actually like going to my job? I actually get so many benefits outside of just a paycheck from my job. I get cultural insight. I get social time. I get magic. I get so much from working a job. And I come home and I work at home. I work on my garden. I work with my children. I work on maintaining my home. I work on maintaining my relationship. But as soon as I've healed my relationship with work and I've understood that work is a part of me, it's woven into who I am, into who we are, I've looked at it differently and I welcome work. And all these rituals, all these prayers, all these routines that they're so that I can keep going. And if life is work, I'm going to make sure that I can keep working, you know what I mean? And keep going and making this a beautiful life. To create a world, to create a life that you love requires work. It requires work. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of work. If you're afraid of work, start by looking at how you're working. Is it working for you? Because if it's not, it's just going to take away from you, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You don't need to be on anti-work Reddit, subreddit. Looking at all these people who hate work. No, they hate their job. They hate their treatment. They hate that they don't want better for themselves. Don't fall into that cesspool. Work can be great. Work can be fulfilling. Work is fulfilling. You just have to make sure you're positioned in the right space. And that's ultimately up to you. So we did our 7 prayers. We did our 7 rituals. And we did our 7 routines. These are mine. Videos like an hour long. Thank you so much for sticking through this with me. I hope that you can play this in the background. I hope I'm not shouting too loudly. I like to listen to people speak about their lives in the background while I'm toiling around and doing my work. You know what I mean? So I hope that this video reaches you well. I hope that you feel inspired to really restructure your life and create an ethics and create an infrastructure for yourself to be able to be a creator, to build the life that you want. You know, I used to say, yeah, build the life that I deserve, but I only deserve it if I work for it, if I build it, if I implement the structures, the values, the actions to get there. So, yes, I am finished. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, thank you. I'll talk to you guys soon.